Welcome back to the channel, guys. So today we're going to be talking about some early recovery movements that my physio gave me and some tips and tricks that will hopefully help you get through the healing process of the first 1 to 16 weeks. After that, some of these things have lived with me ever since. Let's get stuck in. So the first tip, this one is with me every single day. This was given to me by my physio very early on, and it's all about the heat generation from the healing process in your knee. Very similar, if you're a child or you feel ill, you'll feel hot. Well, your knee is getting hot while it's healing. And a little tip that was given to me was that you place the same hand on your good knee, like this, and then move that hand onto your bad knee and feel the heat difference. You'll feel that your bad knee is really hot, and that demonstrates inflammation, healing that's going on at that point. And that's a good test for me. Whenever I've done any activity going forward or any of these movements that I'm going to show you today, it's going to generate even more heat. And what that needs is more ice, more cooling. All that heat is generating inflammation that you can get rid of with anti-inflammatories and whatnot. But essentially, that really hot area of your body needs cooled down so it can get better blood flow to the tendons, which really struggle with blood flow. So before we start, disclaimer, I'm not a physiotherapist and I'm not a doctor. I am going to show you some exercises that my physio gave me. I was lucky enough to pay for a private physio throughout this process, a very good physio who taught me lots and lots of exercises, but these particular three still I do today. I still try and strengthen these parts of the body. So they're stretches and they're also strength gaining exercises. So let's get into the three exercises. We're going to look at leg extensions, we're going to look at glute bridges, and I don't know about you, but I feel so much sciatic pain all down the side of my back and into my hip all throughout this process. I wanted to show you a really good stretch to release some of that tension. For the first exercise today, we're going to be looking at the leg extension or knee extension. For that, there's two pieces of equipment you could use. If you've got a rolled up towel kicking around, that does the job. Or if you want to spend £5–10 on Amazon, you can pick up a foam roller. I use this all the time just because it's got more of a sturdy base, but the towel is absolutely great for the exercise. For the leg extension, we're going to put the towel or the foam roller directly under our knee so it bends our leg like this. From here, you can tense the leg and straighten the leg into a locked position and then release down onto the ground. I recommend doing this about 8 to 10 times to start with. And my only tip for this is whatever you do on your good leg, and remember you have to train your good leg as well, do double on your bad leg. For the second exercise today, guys, we're going to be doing something called the glute bridge. I'm going to show you this on the bench, but you can do this on the side of the bed. That's what I did when I first hurt my leg. Remember, these are quite a few weeks into your rehab, so don't try and do this straight away because you're still letting the joint heal in the tendon. Okay, guys, I'm on the floor now, and what we're going to do is called the glute bridge. So you put your legs onto the side of the bed or the side of the bench, and all you're going to do is raise up your hips like so. It's going to work the back of your legs. Ankles up high onto your bed or your knee, and then as you can see with the bad knee there, we're just going to support it, go up straight and just go down. And up again and down. I would look to do this about 10 times. For the third exercise, what we're going to be doing is try to stretch off the hips, the glute, and this is where I had so much pain in the early days. I think it's because you're counteracting with all these other muscles, but basically the sciatic area of my hip, I was in constant pain there throughout the whole process, and this stretch really helped me out for that. There is a more advanced technique to this, but today I'm just going to show you the beginner version, which is all I really need to do. And then if you really need an advanced one, if it hurts you as well, if you've got the same problems, I'll do a very in-depth advanced version of this. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to lie flat on the ground with our arms outstretched. We're then going to lift our bad leg over our good leg to create this position, keeping the back flat to the floor, and breathe and hold that position for 20 seconds. You're then going to alternate to the other side, hold, breathe, do that for 20 seconds, and do that a couple of times on each side, and that's going to give you all the stretch that you need in that sort of sciatic area. Massively eased off the pain in my sciatic region, and That was one of the biggest bugs for me, so hopefully that helps you with that area. These are all very early. We're not trying to put too much stress down the knee. And again, I'm going to hit that disclaimer. I'm not a physio or a doctor. These are just exercises that have been passed on to me from qualified professionals. And if you need any more guidance, remember to find yourself a qualified professional in this. But if this YouTube video is all you've got, then hopefully these 3 exercises will help you out. I was about 6 to 8 weeks into my recovery before I started doing any major physio on my knee. A lot of it's just sitting there and letting it heal. Your leg, essentially my left leg, started to just waste away. Got skinnier and skinnier as the weeks went on because you're not putting any load down it. And you start to become quite imbalanced in your seating position, you'll notice, because everything's just disappearing on that side. And that's where the strengthening and the physiotherapy comes in, because what you're trying to do is build up that side again while not too overstressing the other side, because that's took all the load when you've been on crutches or when you're hobbling about or when you're learning to walk. I'm going to show you one more thing that helped me early days in recovery, and the physio told me to get one of these. He even said he'd lend me his, but they're about 12 to 20 pound off Amazon. It's called a TENS machine. So basically it gives you a little electric shock, because what you're not doing while you're sitting down is activating any of them muscles. So they're just wasting, they're turning off like a light switch, and you need to turn it back on so it starts being used. So the TENS machine does that job. It basically simulates the use of that muscle. And I would sit with this on for 20 minutes, 2 to 3 times a day, stimulating the main muscle that my physio told me to work on, which is what's called the VMO. I'll just show you exactly where that is. So that's this point here on the inside of my left leg. This muscle here is a huge stabilizing muscle for your knee. And what you want to do is try and turn that back on. Otherwise the knee is going to keep moving this way. So with this one disappears quicker than this one. So you need to make sure this one's engaged and optimized so that the knee pulls straight and heals straight. Otherwise you're going to end up with a lot of pain down this side, and it's never really going to be secure. So what you do is take your TENS machine. It's basically like 2 little sticky pads on it, like so. Take off the little plastic tab that comes with it. You stick it on the affected muscle. Once you've got it on the affected muscle like that, and that's going to hit all parts of that VMO, and you'll be able to move it and feel it till you can see it start tensing. I'm going to put my leg straight now so you can see. Turn it on. Basically start cranking up the power till it feels just beyond comfortable, is how I was understood. I hope today's video has been useful for you who are struggling with your patellar tendon rupture. The 3 exercises, the little tip regarding the heat, and the TENS machine. I've had some great comments this last week about pain relief, what pain relief I've used on my knee throughout the last year. It's ice, baby, I'm afraid. I used ice all the time. Very rarely would I use the anti-inflammatory tablets, just not for me. I would use them when I needed them, but I tried to just use ice, use natural means as best I could. And I'm going to go into, next week, I'm going to go into quite a lot of the pain relief and equipment I used throughout the process, such as knee sleeves, patella tape, strap in, all sorts of different things next week that might help you on your road to recovery. Whereas this one's been a little bit about some of the exercises. Next week will be about equipment. So thanks very much for the comments, really appreciate it. I've had some loads of support on Instagram as well. Fantastic hashtag out there on Instagram as well, KNEEDYAF. They've all gone through similar experiences, so if you catch this video, make sure you go and check them out on Instagram. They'll be below in the description. They've also been through amazing stories of recovery and are running and doing all sorts of things now, so you can gain some inspiration from them as well. So if you've enjoyed this video, smash that like button and we'll see you next week.